What do you believe is 100% true but can't prove? One of the only conspiracies I really believe is that those DNA test kits are just a way for big data companies to learn more about us, and sell that info to insurance companies. Criminal family members of people who have done those tests have actually been caught as a result. It actually helps medical research as well. We're just now learning a lot more about metabolic and mitochondrial diseases, and having large samples to run studies against is helping out. Nice try, Big Brother. You're not getting my DNA that easy. That anything and everything we do on our mobile phones, even when you think you are being secretive by using invented usernames and arbitrary passwords, is being logged and electronically documented somewhere. Privacy is a thing of the past. Everything you do on a device connected to the internet can be logged somewhere. The whole point of the internet is to share data with other people. Privacy never existed on the internet. The truth is that most people just don't care enough to spend hours trying to find data on you, but anyone can. It's not even that hard. I really don't understand where this myth comes from. Why would anyone assume that a nickname equals complete anonymity? When we die, we just dissipate. There is no afterlife, no soul, no reincarnation. The analogy I use, sorry if I stole it from someone, but I believe I made it up, is that of a tornado. Everyone agrees that tornadoes are real things. They can be powerful, and destructive. After it dies out, where did the tornado go? It didn't go anywhere, it just doesn't exist. What is a tornado? It isn't a particular physical thing. It is a pattern, a self-sustaining pattern. Once conditions are no longer right, it dissipates and all the physical bits of the tornado become part of something else. So it is with us. We don't go anywhere when we die. We are magnificent, self-sustaining patterns of astonishing complexity and subtlety. That is the real miracle of life. But once conditions are wrong, the pattern breaks down, our physical bits dissipate into the world, and that is the end of it. Boxing judges are paid by the promoters to give the close rounds to the fighter that the promoter wants to win. Cases that come with contact lens solution are gradually becoming larger and larger, thus forcing you to buy more contact lens solution. I actually have the opposite problem. I buy the larger contact solution bottles, thinking that if I buy more solution in a bigger bottle I'm buying less plastic, but the bigger bottles come with contact cases. Like, dude, I already have one contact case, I don't need 8. The Spotify shuffle algorithm isn't random. I think that's actually a known thing. People complained about old shuffle functions in music players because they weren't random enough because they don't know how randomness works, so they made them less random to seem more random to people who don't know how randomness works. YouTube dislikes on, under, comments do nothing. I've read somewhere that it affects the person's hidden reputation score. Apparently if your comments get downvoted too much and your rep is too low, your future comments will get buried deep down in the comment section, and will be unlikely to be liked in the future. A 21-year-old girl went missing around where I live without a trace 7 years ago. Not a trace, whatsoever. I am absolutely convinced that she's being kept inside of my neighbor's house. My neighbors are so paranoid about what goes on around their house to the point of it being sickening. Nobody ever visits their house. They never have any blinds or windows open. Their house reminds me of that house in Cleveland where 3 girls were held against their will for 10 years and then finally escaped. The icing on the cake is that they followed a 19-year-old girl home that we know one night. Cops charged them with harassment and that's it. If you haven't followed what is happening with Jamie Kloss and her kidnapper, I suggest looking it up. Basically this guy saw her one day, found out where she lived, broke in one day and killed her parents and kidnapped her. She then broke out of his house and was wandering around the streets. The cops said that the guy that kidnapped her wasn't even close to being anywhere on their radar as a suspect. Just some random guy with no links to the girl, but he saw her one day. All this shit just makes me think that this girl that went missing 7 years ago where I live is locked up in my neighbor's house. Of course I have nothing to base it off of other than 3 different things that have happened, but I'm still convinced she's in my neighbor's house. Edit 2. A few people are asking how can I be convinced about this for over 7 years and are calling BS about my story. I just moved into the house 2 years ago and over time we started to realize how weird the neighbors are. And then recently, when Jamie Kloss was found, is what made me think something like that might be happening next door. With all of that being said, again, I don't really have anything to base it off of other than a couple national headlining kidnappings, and the fact that my neighbors are super paranoid about everything. Go to your local FBI office, and make an anonymous report. They know how to look at patterns and see if these people are really hiding something. They will take you seriously and investigate it. If she's in there, man, it's worth it to try even though you might be wrong. The human hunch is a very powerful thing. Seriously, go do this. And of course report back if anything comes of it. They might just be growing weed or something too. FBI will take your claim seriously. Possibly more so than your tired local cop. And they will investigate in a way that does not rouse suspicion. My mom made allegations against my dad to the FBI during their divorce and the FBI started investigating us. Dad moved in with my husband and I. They knew where I lived, worked, volunteered, went to church and who visited me within a matter of days. I never noticed they were following me even after they told me. Edit, thank you for the silver kind stranger. It's my first. There once existed a race of humans in ancient/classical history, who were so incredibly obsessed with minimalism as an artistic movement, that there is no evidence of their having ever existed. I just heard something on a show about Basque country that supports this. History is written by kings who were focused on prestige and expansion. They wanted to be well known. Non-imperial civilizations were the opposite. Fishing communities, like the Basque, did not want others to know about their fishing spots and tried to not broadcast their civilization. It's not an exact comparison, but I definitely think there's credibility to your idea. Some pretty terrifying creatures live in the deepest and darkest part of ocean. I guess this one can technically be proven, but I really do believe that Tasmanian tigers still roam in some parts of Australia and Tasmania, but is critically endangered. Yeah, there's so much Tasmanian wilderness that we've never been able to access that surely there's got to be tigers out there somewhere. Edit, my father, who is still alive, saw the last remaining Tasmanian tiger in captivity, when we was a boy at the Hobart Zoo. He's pretty confident they're still out there. Aliens. I absolutely believe in aliens too. The universe is too big to just be us. But after reading about the filter theory, I'm not sure how advanced said aliens would be. The Fermi paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, is the apparent contradiction between the lack of evidence and high probability estimates for the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations. The basic points of the argument, made by physicists Enrico Fermi, 1901 to 1954, and Michael H. Hart, born 1932, are 1. There are billions of stars in the galaxy that are similar to the Sun, and many of these stars are billions of years older than the solar system. 2. With high probability, some of these stars have Earth-like planets, and if the Earth is typical, some may have developed intelligent life. 3. Some of these civilizations may have developed interstellar travel, a step the Earth is investigating now. 4. Even at the slow pace of currently envisioned interstellar travel, the Milky Way galaxy could be completely traversed in a few million years. The universe is billions of years old. I think it's almost certain that advanced civilizations have evolved, existed for hundreds or thousands of millennia, and died out all before we were even a twinkle in the universe's eye. The US government runs VPN services to collect info on people who attempt to evade the NSA, National Security Agency, collection programs. Stay right where you are. Could you please remove this? Thank you for the cooperation. That Brooks Brothers in the airport is a money laundering operation. I fly 2 or 3 times a month, and I almost never see any customers in those places at all. But somehow they manage to maintain prime airport storefronts. I am 99% convinced that they only exist to launder money. Same deal, but mattress firm instead of Brooks Brothers. Who buys mattresses at an airport? While they might be duty-free, I don't see them fitting in the overhead bins. Not getting enough sleep is very bad for health. In a few decades, there'll be campaigns to get more sleep just like there is non-smoking and healthy eating, and we will have studies on the lifespans of people who don't get enough sleep. Please, it's 2 a.m., don't say these things. I'm scared. Subway was much higher quality 20 years ago. The US government artificially deflates the price of cheap high-calorie low-nutrition foods because poor fat people don't overthrow governments, poor hungry ones do. I agree. However, I also think there's a second motive. You pay into Social Security your entire life. You save your entire life as well. By making these shitty foods more readily accessible, you're offing yourself at 63 instead of living to be 90. You kick the bucket, the gov takes its cut, and best of all, they don't have to pay to keep you healthy for 25 more years. That I feel physically healthier if I could get my anxiety under control. Stress will fuck up your body. When I worked at a job that caused high stress, my skin severely broke out in acne, eczema, and even a few warts. When I quit, my acne was significantly reduced a month later, the warts completely disappeared on their own, and the eczema has been reduced significantly. I am 100% convinced that stress can wreck your body. Small pockets in women's clothing is a thing so that fashion companies can sell more purses. What do you believe is 100% true but can't prove? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you wanna see more videos like this one.